I'm okay. I worked last night, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm okay. And I'm having to ship myself this morning.
Oh no.
I know. I'm such a poor baby.
And it's 3 days of selling, so you probably got 50 packages going out.
No, not quite. I did up my promoted listings yesterday, and so I think I got 4 yesterday. And I had one that sold on like Friday, and I didn't sell anything else except for yesterday. It was pretty bad. I was I was in the dumps. I was because I was listing. I was
Yeah.
listing and I wasn't selling nothing. I was like, how could this be?
I had a strange weekend of sales. I did quite a bit of listing on Saturday and Sunday, but none of that sold yet. It was all um, old stuff. I
Yeah,
sold 14,
awesome.
which was okay, but it was strange. Nothing. Usually, the newer stuff I list sells better and faster.
Yeah. You
So
know
I
what's
don't know.
funny? You know what's funny is last week I was just listing, odd stuff from I was trying to clean off my my shelf that's by my desk. And I'm like, this has been sitting here for a while. And it was that piggy bank that I sold. And so I took that piggy bank and I listed that and it sold. And I listed it was sitting on a green plate that was what do you call that, like depression glass.
Yeah.
It was sitting on a green plate and that sold like right after the piggy bank.
Well, there
And
you go.
I'm like, that's crazy because it's been sitting here for a year. So yeah, I was like, that's pretty nuts. They was both sitting there, you know. And it just goes to show you gotta list it for it to sell.
Yeah.
They don't have X-ray vision, so they can see into your death piles.
Hmm.
And then yesterday, I got a message from eBay asking me if I wanted to up my store again, which I'm kind of thinking about doing it just so I can get the shipping coupon out of it. I mean, it's a good deal.
Yeah. I'm afraid that I would get lazy and forget to cancel it when I was.
I don't. I always remember. I always mark it on my calendars and stuff. I always make sure that I cancel it like on the 29th day. Like it tells you that you have 2 months, but it's not 2 months. It's only 2 months if you um plan on paying a month ahead for on the upgrade store.
Yeah.
So really it's only a month.
I mainly don't mess with it because I don't spend a ton on shipping supplies. I've kind of got things down to where it'll fit in the free USPS boxes, or
Yeah.
it'll just go into a um, Not vinyl.
Oh, poly bag.
Poly bag.
Yeah.
And that don't cost much, so.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
don't.
eh.
I don't usually buy boxes from eBay unless I have like a little extra on the shipping. Like if I'm all stocked up on tape and all that. Because I use eBay tape too. I like eBay tape. There's a lot of people that don't, but I really have no problem with it.
I've never had any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just always use my shipping coupon for poly bags or boxes. I never bought the tape.
Oh, I have a ton of tape. I probably don't need to buy tape for 2 years. I have a lot of it, and I have all the different colors and all of that. Um, but I usually will make sure I'm stocked up on tape, and then if I have, I'll usually buy poly bags with the shipping coupon, or if I get those boxes, I like those. What are they? The 8x8x4.
I usually get the 8x6x4.
Maybe that's what it is. 8x6x4, something like that. Those are like a great size.
Or they also have 8x8x8.
Yeah, I think I do have a pack of those. I don't know if I've used them at all, but I do have a pack of those, I think. And then I bought the bigger box. I bought a box that has like a whole bunch of different sizes, just so that I could try out some different sizes and see what I like best. And then
Stuck
and I
with 864s. There's Hank. Finally, somebody in the side chat.
I know that's what I was saying. I was fixing to say, that I didn't see anybody.
Yeah. Well, there's 10 watching, so that means that there's 8 that aren't commenting.
Good morning, Hank. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I don't know who's in the chat besides Hank. Oh, fishing and picking's creeping.
There's Mike.
That explains it. Oh. Oh, no, that's awful, Hank. I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Shirley? How you doing, Jennifer? I'm glad you guys are piling all in. Look at I got my shelf. I got my shelf in here.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Man, I busted my ass before my kid came the other day. I like really went after it and I got stuff done. And I threw away a whole bunch of stuff. Like, nope, I don't want to sell that. I just was making a decision that day. Nope, I don't want to sell that. Or yes, I want to sell that. It's going to go over here in this corner, or, it's going to go on my shelf or wherever. It's going to have a place. And I still have a lot to do, but because behind this shelf is the whole wall is lined with boxes. So really, it's just like a cover up. I just tell on myself. Hi, Cindy, Rosen, and Joanna. And hope you all doing okay today. Uh, it wasn't on Valerie's channel today because Valerie's having problems with when she got home. I was talking to her, and she went outside and she goes, "Oh, there's a down wire, a down uh electric,
Oh my
wire."
gosh.
Yeah. And but her electricity was on and everything. And she said, so she called the electric company, and they came out last night. And he wanted to turn her power off right then. And I'm like, what good is that gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, I'm not comprehending it right, but I thought um that if you have a down wire, then it's the electric company's responsibility to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, they're making it seem like it's on her. Like she has to call an electrician to have it fixed.
Well, I think different electric suppliers have different
Yeah,
policies.
they must,
You have to
or
read the fine print. Yeah.
the different states or something. I mean, I just don't know. It didn't sound right to me, that she's going to have to be held responsible for that. But that's what the electric company was telling her last night. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning.
Um, that's what they were telling her last night, that she was going to have to call an electrician today, and they're going to turn off her power and have to fix it. And so he was like wanting to turn her power off last night, and she's like, no, I live here and I'm gonna freeze, my dogs are gonna freeze. So
Right.
she was like, called me all this morning and was like panicked and um crying because she didn't know what was gonna happen. And she messaged me just a little bit ago and said that she got a hold of an electrician, and he knows the guy that she talked to last night. So he's going to call him and find out what's going on with it. And so that he pretty much knows what he's walking into.
Right.
So, to me, it's like stupid. Like the whole, like my whole life growing up and what I know about electricity and the electric company and all that, I'm thinking in my head, if it's inside the house, then it's the house owner's responsibility. If it's outside the house, then it should be the electric company's responsibility. That's what I think.
Fishing and Picking
Uh,
says he's got on their two properties, they've got one of each. One he's responsible from the pole to the house, and on the other property, just from the meter to the inside. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's weird. That is so weird.
I
And
think it's
I
yeah. I think it's different with different areas of the country and different electric companies and stuff.
right, like where we live, my electric pole is in my backyard. And so the electric pole has the meter on it, and it's actually leaning, like it's like leaning towards where the electric wire is going. It's leaning towards that. And so they came and put in a new meter or something, and they said this pole is not going to last very much longer. And so your landlord's going to have to replace the pole. And so from what I know, they're going to have to replace a pole, but I don't think they're going to have to like do anything with the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't think that the electricity or that the electric company would want people messing around with that, even electricians. I To me, I mean, that's stupid to me because, why would they want somebody else doing stuff with their, the poles and the wires and stuff? I don't know. Hi, Texas Val. Good morning. Good morning. Glad everybody's here.
So she has power now, but they want to turn it off.
Yeah, she's had powers. I guess she lost power for a little bit while she was on
Right.
while she was at her daughter's, and it came back on. And when she got home, it was fine. It was on, but then she noticed that there was a down line and laying in her yard.
I don't see
And I'm
how she
like,
has power if her line is down.
I know.
It's coming through
I
the
know.
ground.
I don't know. And the guy that wanted to turn the power off, he's like, the only reason why I'm not turning this off is because you have a fenced in yard. You're keeping your dogs on a leash. Like she has to take them out on a leash every time instead of just letting them out the back door, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But but he said the only reason why he was leaving it on was because he didn't want her to get cold, and that she had a fenced in yard.
Any idea how much it will cost if she has to pay for it?
Don't know.
Lord.
Probably minimum 200, but yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on if they have to put new wire. Some of that wire can be expensive.
Right, Hank.
Yeah.
And it's still probably live. It's down, but it's still live probably.
If they can just reuse the wire that's there, it's probably 200 or less.
Yeah.
I figure that out of any call you get, whether it's a plumber or an electrician or a heating and air conditioning guy, it's going to be nearly 200 no matter what they do when they come out.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, whatever work they have to do and materials. Right. So anyway.
Bishop and Pickett says our farmhouse is a mile off the road. We have to pay and maintain each pole on our property. The power company only gives us 3 poles on private land here in my part of North Carolina. But like, yeah, so so you have to pay the electric company to maintain that pole, right? Or the power company. Like, see, to me, I would think that if you're paying for power, then that, part of those like fees and stuff that they put, throw at the end of the bill, that's that should cover that stuff.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah. Fisher and Pickett says it cost us $750 a pole and a line for 150 feet between each pole. He says 1,000 feet is an easement.
I don't know.
Like, meaning that they're able to get on that property to maintain it? Is that what easement means? So the poles within that first 1,000 feet are the poles that they cover. Anyways, I don't know too much about this stuff, like as far as, what would happen what would happen if I own this place and that pole went down. I'm not sure what would happen. Who would be responsible for what?
Morning, Karen. I mean, years ago we had a line go down in our yard, Philadelphia Pico Power Company. They were responsible. They fixed it.
Yeah.
But it could be different. I think every place is different.
Yeah, we've got like a 10-foot wide alley or 12-foot wide alley that the poles are in, and that's all electric company. But I'm like Valerie, I probably don't know if I'm responsible from the wire that comes from the pole to the house.
I
know I'm responsible for everything from the meter. I've got a meter on the side of the house, so
yeah.
I'm almost positive I'm responsible for anything from the meter on into the house.
Right.
Right.
And see, that to me, that's logical. Like, if you want to hire a electrician to fix the wire that's coming from the pole to the inside of the house, then that's logical to me. But having, like from the pole to the line, I would think would be the electric company. Oh. Hang on a second.
Good morning, Beth.
I suppose I could Google my electric company and see what I'm covered. I don't know. When you're moving in a place, you got so many things to do. You don't even read that portion of your deal.
She's in Kansas. Is she near Kansas City? On the Kansas City BPU website, on the front page, it says BPU is responsible for the service line and meter only. Owner is responsible for all else and must contract repairs with a licensed electrician. So it could be that she is responsible. Yikes. God knows what that could cost. Joanna says, I think we're responsible for the main line coming off the pole into our house, but I did make them raise the wire because it was laying on the roof. Yeah, she needs to find out what. That's so stressful. Especially in a place she's going to be leaving anyway. I don't know, what is a power co-op? Morning, Jennifer, Hayes, and Joanna. Fishing and Picking and Cindy, Texas Val. Craig was in here earlier. Hi, Shirley Plummer. How's your sales this morning, Todd? I had not a very good 3-day weekend.
For 3 days, it was, I got 14 going out.
Oh, Lord, I've got maybe 8. Let's say you're better than me.
But
yeah,
there's nothing that's anything, the biggest sale was like $40.
Yeah, I've got a
So
little.
there's nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I sold 3 different Department 56 Christmas items,
Nice.
which is weird enough. But then I think, oh, this is all going to go combined shipping. No, it's to 3 different people.
Oh, weird.
So
Morning,
I was like,
Glenn.
that is so weird.
That's pretty crazy.
It
I sold a Christmas CD. It is so weird that I've sold very few leading up to Christmas, and I've sold a bunch in January.
Yeah.
Glenn has one going out. Oh, Joanna has none.
And I figured out that the big old houses on Department 56 stuff isn't that great, but all the little accessories
are good.
and
Yeah.
people and things like that, those things, they sell good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So next time I looked about Department 56 stuff, I'm going for the little tchotchke accent pieces instead of the houses and buildings and stuff.
Right. I don't think I've ever found a Department 56 piece.
Yeah, we see them quite often at estate sales. That's the main place I've gotten mine. I don't see them at auctions much, and I don't see them at garage sales much, but estate sales quite often.
There's another Christmas type thing that sells too, and I think of what it is. It's like anything with like a village type little decorations like trees and light signs, light poles and benches.
Yeah.
I've sold stuff like that from all over, really. I mean, it's crazy because you can pick them up if you get them at a yard sale. You can pick them up for $0.25 a piece, and then turn around and sell them for $15 to $20.
Yeah, the accessories sell pretty well. I know. I sold up a bunch of my own. I was into them, the Dickens Village, and then people would give them to me, and I had no place to put them, so I had a bunch of them in the garage, just still in the boxes, and I sold them pretty well. But yeah, I'll pick up the accessories if I find them.
Yeah.
Pricing on Amazon.
I found these little Christmas tree ornaments. You guys can't see it, but my Christmas tree is right there on top of my shelf. It's at the very top. And I'm like, I'm not getting rid of the tree, damn it. I found these little Christmas ornaments that are shaped like hard candies. They're really cute. And so I'm like, I'm going to keep those for my tree. And the tree had no mice in it, Todd. So there.
Hank wants to know, is that a new shelf or have we moved?
It's a new shelf. Sally's getting organized.
Wow.
It's actually not new. It's from my eBay room. I'm gonna get a new shelf for in there, so I brought this in here, and I'm gonna do my clothing like how Beth and Valerie are doing theirs. I decided I'm gonna. What is it like? I can't remember
The
the project.
reseller project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how she does hers. I'm gonna try to do something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna get the same kind of shelf that Valerie has, and I'm only gonna get one to start with because I think that's all I need. But the boxes that my clothing is in, it's just a pain in the ass to keep up with because
It is.
they're not like tubs. They're boxes, and they're falling apart, and I try to keep them as organized as possible. I have like an inventory date on them and stuff like that, but I just want to get rid of the whole box thing.
Yeah, Beth was doing that but I think she's changing. She said something on her show last night about changing it up again. So I don't know what she's doing. I think she's doing kind of a different system. But I watched some gal who had this incredible system, but she had like thousands of items of clothing listed. She had this inventory sheet that she filled out for every single item. So she had taped to her clothing item, she had this inventory sheet that she wrote the type, the brand, the size, the measurements, the details about. To me, that's a lot of work. I don't under.
That is a lot of work.
Why you would need that in written form, but
I could not be dedicated to something like that.
Neither. I know I wouldn't keep it up. I know I wouldn't. I've got a pile of clothing all nicely folded in plastic bags laying on my floor that have to go into my tote bag.
So what are you changing to, Beth? I mean, yeah, I know. I love those plastic shelves too, but there's just not enough room for what I want to do. Hi, Liz. Yeah, and so like I don't want to be like too detailed on like how I'm putting my inventory together, and like, how I'm going to do it. I just want to do like put it in the listing itself, and then I'll put a number on the package. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do, have to write the name out and all of that. I don't want to do any of that.
It's bad enough I have little slips of paper with measurements on them because I can't remember from the table across the room till I get over here what.
That's why.
So, yeah. So I have to write them down.
I have my measuring tape hooked to a clamp on my desk. I have it hooked to a clamp on my desk so that so it don't run off, because it likes to run off. It likes to wrap itself around my feet.
Yeah.
And and so it kept running off. So I decided I had to clamp it to the table.
Yeah. But I measure waist, length, and then I walk here and I sit down and I think, wait, what was the waist? What was the? So yeah. So I have all these little tiny pieces of paper.
Yeah.
That's just old age.
No, I do that too. And I'm not old.
That's true. Well, it makes me feel better, Todd.
I'm putting mine in boxes on the shelves. I can get 40 items on there instead of 35. The clothes keep sliding down. Well, I think the important thing with that kind of system is to keep moving. Yes, you do, Liz. To keep putting stuff on there. Like, if you take 5 items off that shelf, then your stuff's going to start falling. So what you need to do is you need to list 5 more items with those numbers and then put them in those spots to where they're not sliding down.
Yeah.
And that's with anything, really. I really like going in my eBay room and just moving stuff around because no, Beth, because if you're moving stuff around, and for one, I think if you touch it, it's gonna freaking sell. For another thing, it keeps it in your mind, like, you can kind of gauge, like, oh, I've had this for a while. Maybe I need to go look at that listing and, remind yourself about, like, how much you have it listed for and stuff like that. I do like to do that. I like to go in there and look around and touch stuff and move stuff around and everything. I think that's a good practice. And like, if you work in a regular store, you're always moving stuff around.
Yeah.
Nothing should sit on the shelf in the same spot for, a long period of time, without being touched, dusted, moved so that the shelf could be dusted, something.
Sherry had a great idea. She says, try a whiteboard. She writes down on the whiteboard, then takes a picture of the whiteboard before she moves on to the next thing.
That is a very good idea.
Awesome idea. Liz says, I move stuff and say, why the heck did I buy this piece of crap? Yeah, I say that all the time. I say that all the time when I'm sharing my Poshmark closet. Like, what?
What the hell I buy this for?
You learn. That's how you learn. I mean, I've been doing a few different things lately that have really been helpful. A couple of pickers. Lisa did a whole thing on eBay's inventory system that's in Seller Hub. That's been a huge game changer for me.
Yes, I've looked at that.
Yeah.
I need to look at it better because to me, I understand the point and everything. I just think that it's kind of time consuming.
Well, what I was doing was everything listed. I was copying the title into a spreadsheet. And then when it's sold, I was copying it from my listed spreadsheet to my sold spreadsheet so that at the end of the year, I would have my inventory. So I could give my accountant, this is my starting inventory, this is my ending inventory. And that was so time consuming. So to just use the internal system, and at the end of the day, I created folders, sold on eBay, sold on Poshmark, sold on Amazon. I moved the things off into and it's been huge for me. So it really depends on what your own systems are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's been a big thing for me.
Well, I'm glad it's working for you. I watched the video and everything, but I was doing other things at the same time. And then after the video, I went in and tried to do it in my own store, and I was like, I just was not getting something. I missed a part or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again. But
yeah. It might not be for you. It might not be helpful to you in any way.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows
Yeah.
that you pictures at once, so anything I need to remember. And that's a great idea because I am so bad with taking groups of pictures because I get so confused where one, especially with clothing, one thing batch ends and the next thing begins. So what I had been doing was just taking a picture of the white, you're just taking a blank picture. So
Mhm.
when I have my whole, I'm scrolling through my thing, I can see, well, that was that block, there's the blank. So just taking a picture of a whiteboard would be, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that a try. Yep. And the other thing I've been doing is my cost of changing up how I want my cost of goods. I have been on that spreadsheet. Oh, wait a minute. This is Michael. I got to talk to him. Jeez.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, we gotta all do what works for us, you know. And
I don't do
if it's
anything
too
that works for
involved,
me.
I know. You're part-time, right?
I just list stuff and shove it on a shelf. Yeah. Then I got to look for it. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost good exercise, I think, to, time to go pick orders. Okay, move this. Look over there. Nope, not there. Okay, go around over here. And nope, not there.
It's like that all too familiar hide and seek.
Yeah.
Except we're hiding stuff from ourselves. Or if we've had it
my
on the shelf
defense, I
for
have all my
years.
watches in one bin and all my sterling silvers, jewelry in one bin, and I have all my blue jeans in 2 totes, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's good. Ugh, I hate this gun.
Sherry says, I count chipping as my daily workout. Yeah.
Well, whenever you said that it's almost a workout for you to do that, then or exercising or whatever, I thought of you walking into a room that was like the ground's completely covered with death pile stuff, and you're like doing lunges to
Yeah, a lot of times.
to get into the room and pull stuff out. that's what
Yeah,
that's what
I
crossed
got so
my
much
mind.
crap stacked up in front of, like the shelf where I keep my tape. I have to reach over boxes of crap that are sitting on the floor in front of the shelf to reach the tape.
Right.
So, yeah. Did you ever wrap a package and you got through and you were breathing hard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, it happens to the best of us.
If I get something big and weird and
Yeah.
it has to be packed, box in a box, and you got the tape gun and you're frankenboxing, cutting, measuring, and taping and weighing, and yeah.
I tell you what,
Sometimes when I get done with a big one, I'm out of breath.
I have a lot of confidence in myself when I'm trying when I'm thinking about doing a Frankenbox, and so I cut these boxes open or whatever, and cut them apart so that I can tape them together with other boxes. And by the halfway in between it, I'm like so freaking over it, and I'm like wanting to go somewhere and buy a big box.
Yeah.
And seriously, probably 2 to 3 times out of 10, I have. Because I'm like, you need to take this shit away from me or I'm going to cut the house apart, you know? I'm just going to start cutting shit. You don't need to leave me alone with these scissors anymore. What did you say? A core exercise? Core day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Save up those Franken boxes for when you get in a little flabby, like after a big Christmas meal or something.
I sold a Monet necklace yesterday for $32.
Wow.
Yeah, I was surprised. That's what I said. Wow. It's a really pretty necklace, but it's not even. It's like gold tone. You know, it's not gold or silver or nothing. But it's pretty. That's what counts, right?
I listed like 20 jewelry items this weekend.
I haven't listed jewelry in a long time, and I need to get back into it. And I started going through a couple of pieces the other day, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm listing something else. I have to be in the mood for it. Because if I'm not, it's just not going to happen. Let me see if I can find this necklace.
A rain lamp. What is a rain lamp? Liz, what's a rain lamp? Rain lamp.
Is it one of those ones that have like the fringe that comes off of the like the
like the oil
shade?
that comes down those little
maybe
string things.
Maybe
those little fishing line looking strings. There's oil that drips down. Oh, okay, yeah.
That sucks, man. Even after you were looking forward to it.
God, how would you ship that? You would have to drain all the oil out of it, wouldn't you, before you shipped it?
I don't think so. Oh, she says she has a video. I don't think you would drain the oil out of it. I could be wrong, I guess. It happens a lot. Where's this necklace at, damn it? Oh, I need to go look at it again. Oh, she said it has been drained. I tested it with water. Oh, so it is like what Todd was saying, but it's like a lava lamp kind of, or oil lamp. Oh, it would leak. Yeah, I'll look for them. That sucks that they canceled, though. Where's this necklace at? Make yourself appear. There's that one. That was not it. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the stuff that I've got to list.
Yeah.
Uh,
Grony. Yeah,
all kinds of stuff to get done.
I do too.
Sorry about
But,
that.
you know, that's right. I gotta sleep sometime today.
Sleep.
It's like, you know, like whenever you're awake during the daytime and you're used to that schedule, if you ever have to go to nights or whatever, you have to you have to live a different way than most people.
Yep. I've
Yeah,
read
it's different.
that it's just not. Is that me that's causing that echo?
I don't hear an echo.
You don't hear it? Okay. I've read that the body never gets used to
I would say
a nighttime schedule. That it's just so not natural.
yeah.
That even people who work it for years and years and years, your body never really can adapt to it because it's just
Right.
not natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there because it's like, you know, like I schedule my sleep kind of, you know, when I'm gonna sleep, and most people don't do that except, you know, or they do it and they say, okay, I'm gonna sleep from 9 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But I say, okay, I'm gonna sleep from 11 to 4, and then from 6 to 10. You know, that's kind of my sleep schedule right there. It can get pretty crazy. Oh, there you are, Necklace. Thank you for not being lost today.
Yeah, I've been lucky
Yeah,
to work those odd hours. I've always been a 9 to 5er.
it's a Monet.
Yeah. That's pretty and all, but how much? 35?
32.
32?
Oh, really?
It's on a rope chain.
Oh, that's really pretty.
It's a Monet.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a Monet chain, but it's like, it's just a chain. Would that sell good?
You don't have. There's no pendant.
No.
The Monet chains will so. I've sold Monet chains by themselves. Yeah.
How do you know? Hi, Glenn. How do you know it's this Monet? Is it stamped on there or something? Jewelry
Yeah.
so overwhelming.
Monet is one of those companies that actually write Monet on there so you can actually read what it says.
Yeah, it's really nice actually.
Instead of putting some weird maker mark that you can't figure out who made it or where.
Right. Right. It's kind of like
And is it my imagination or is Monet higher quality costume jewelry than a lot of costume jewelry?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think I don't know if it's higher quality. I mean, I think they just try to do pieces. Actually, I think there's a lot of pieces that they copy from other makers. You know, like you know how that the one that Thelma always finds, Avery.
Oh, James Avery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is copied a lot by a lot of just what do you call it? Like people that do
Like
costume jewelry.
Yeah.
There's like I guess it's like an infinity swirl type design that they do that is copied a lot by other makers.
I guess something takes off as style takes off.
Yeah,
people just copy it. Yeah, cheaper to get the look.
And I don't know if Monet is a higher end, like a higher quality or whatever.
Is it?
I think they just make stuff that people like.
Is it still being made? I don't know anything about it. Liz says the Golden Girls like Monet. Is Monet still a thing, or is it, or is everything Monet now?
I'm sure.
Or is anything Monet?
I'm not sure if they're still making it or not.
Well, I see a lot of costume jewelry that is not Monet. That I see the plating coming off of it, or it's he gets rusty spots on it, or it's just doesn't seem as good as Monet.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Oh, there's Lori.
Well, people obviously like it.
I know.
Like the Mardi Gras beads, you can tell those are real cheap.
Oh yeah.
They're not like a Monet beaded necklace. It's just
right.
Yeah.
Howdy, Lori.
Howdy.
Hey, Lori. How are you?
Good morning. I'm hanging in there, still kicking, just not as high or hard.
I wouldn't kick anything with a bad knee like you got.
I can't. I can manage to get in my office now, so I'm happy about that. So,
That's good.
yeah. I got the box to put my foot on, so I'm good.
I really couldn't imagine being away from like nice stuff that where I could do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Being laid up at home and then you still can't do anything. It's like
yeah, because there's only so much you can do. So
what am I gonna do?
I've been getting a lot of jewelry listed. I know that.
I bet you that if I went in the hospital or something, I'd have Brandon bring me jewelry.
Mm-hmm. I got plenty of that, so
that's good.
Oh, and I put a lot of.
It's selling.
It's what?
I said it's selling.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about. I sold a Monet necklace for $32.
Cool. I just posted some Monet yesterday. So. Teresa's got to go next door and pull about 11 items.
Oh my gosh.
So.
When is your MRI?
Do what?
When is your MRI scheduled for?
I gotta go see the surgeon on the 31st, and probably from there, as he wants to look at it first, I guess, to see, and then do the MRI to see if I need surgery. I'm hoping it's just therapy. So
It just worries me that it's been so long. And then you said the other day that if you take the brace off, it buckles, right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
worries me. Hey, Rita.
Hi, Hank.
Hi, Rita.
Liz says,
Yeah,
did you say that already? That Monet is higher end. You would see it in the high end department stores like Dillard's. I should
Yeah.
put the jewelry.
I think they used to have. I want to say that they used to have it at Mervyn's too, which is kind of like a J.C. Penney type store.
McAlpin's and all that.
Yeah.
And was it Elder Beerman? Weren't they considered higher end at one time? Before they all shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no longer any Mervyn's either.
I've never heard of Mervyn's.
I have never heard of Mervyn's.
I've
Yeah,
heard
we had
McAlpin's.
Mervyn's here in Texas.
We had it in California.
McAlpin's, I've heard of that. Ouch.
I never heard of that one.
You ever heard of McAlpin's? McAlpin's, and we've had Dillard's and Elder Beerman's and Sears and I can't remember all the old ones. Shillito's.
I've never heard of
Shotos?
Huh?
Did you say Shotos?
No, Shillito's.
Oh.
I've never
They're talking about like maybe a shoe place called Shotos.
Yeah, we sell dance footwear. Showtoes.
shovel toes.
So jazz hands, we got Showtoes.
How do you
Huh?
how do you spell it?
I think it's SHILITOS or something like that. It's-
Hank says she is just on calling it Merlin's, only the finest in
Merlin's.
Mississippi wardrobe.
Merlin's on Diagon Alley. Out.
Cincinnati.
Not
First
diagonally. Not diagonally.
No, Diagon. What do you say, Maggie?
I've never heard of Shillito's. It says Shillito's was Cincinnati's first department store,
Mm-hmm.
founded in 1830 as McLaughlin and Shillito.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, I found something out that's very interesting about that particular store.
What's
My
that?
grandfather worked there, the one that stole from the mob,
Uh-huh.
and faked his death.
Oh.
So whoever's buried
Really?
at the Spring Grove was not him. So my sister was contacted recently over from family. She did one of those 23andMe tests and found us,
Yeah.
and found out that he was alive until 1988.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. But he changed the name from Hadley to Headley to protect the family from what he'd done. But then we found out that my mother was the one that paid, or my grandmother was the one that paid the price for what he'd done. So, yeah, they were in the Irish Mafia and all that stuff. So, I have a very weird family history.
Interesting.
Huh, that's good to know. So I had a grandfather all those years and never knew it. I said,
I wonder, did he
Well,
have another family or
we don't know.
whatever? You don't know. Wow.
Nobody
Some of
knew where
us-
he was.
some of us have grandfathers that we wish we didn't have, so we're kind of lucky. in a sense.
My dad didn't even know he was still alive, so everybody thought he had died in the fire. So,
Oh,
but he didn't. So whoever's buried in his grave isn't him. So that's
Well,
why it was.
don't you think they should dig them up and find out who it is?
Well, there he's not there. When we went, the kids took me to see my grandmother's grave and to look for his because I'd never been to Spring Grove Cemetery, and it's on the National Historical Society thing for one of the largest cemeteries in the nation. And I have always wanted to go there, and I knew I had family there. And we found my grandmother's. We found what was supposed to be my grandfather's, but it's not a head marker; it's just a stone with a number. So apparently, they don't know who it is either. So. But
that is so strange.
mm-hmm. So I don't know if he may have had a headstone, and then when they found out back in '88 when he passed, that maybe that's not him. We can't leave his name there, he can't die twice, be buried twice. But we don't know where he's buried at now. We just caught wind that, so my sister's going to look into it a little bit further so we can.
You should be able to find out.
Yeah,
if
that's
know,
what she's doing.
You know, like what his name was and all that.
Oh yeah, that's what she's doing.
I found the guy that had I had boots, like and I found out that the guy that owned the boots died like 6 days or something into Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out where he was buried. There's like a not a dictionary, but there's like a little directory on like where people are buried. What, if you have their name, there's a directory.
I tell you what's really creepy is when my sister was doing our ancestry thing, the family tree. When you bring up how these people died that are all in Spring Grove Cemetery, every one of them blunt force trauma to the head.
Oh,
considering what my grandfather was involved in, execution style.
Wow.
Wow.
And of course, my daughter's freaking out, thinking, "Oh, they're going to come find us." I said, "No, that's kind of long gone. The debt's been paid. They're not going to look for us." I said, with today's technology, they could have already found us if they were still looking. So, but yeah, my grandfather was involved in some really shady stuff.
Yeah.
And he stole from the wrong person. He stole a lot of money. I don't know what he did with it because he sure didn't give it to grandma and the kid. My dad, he took off. But they said they all just thought he took off just for the heck of it. But he actually changed the name to protect. He added, because it used to be Hadley, Hadly. Now it's Headley. So I'm thinking, how is adding 2 E's gonna change anything if you don't move the family from the town?
Yeah.
I guess the people back then didn't think that way like they do now, but who knows?
I found a few people who died in insane asylums, but nothing wild like that. Lord.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what you learn on a just from an email, But that's what I told Lacey. I said, well, with the DNA things out now, they can find anybody they want to find. I said, I have got family all over from east to west coast and north to south and all over the world. So it's pretty interesting. I said, yeah. I said, if they wanted to find us, they already would have. I said, besides, I ain't got much to give them anyway. I would have liked to have known, just for the heck of it.
Yep. Family is weird sometimes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
My brother and my last trip to Oklahoma, we had like a second cousin that we never see.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out having a meal at the restaurant. And she came up. We had a nice talk for about 30 minutes. Her grandmother was the sister to my grandmother, so We're cousins. Yeah. Nice lady.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did find out I have a Judd in my family tree, so I'm like, hey, I could be cousins to my idol. So that's what Pammy does. She likes to do all the history and digging all that. So she's looking through all that. So
Yeah. When I go to ancestry.com and start looking at the second and third cousins, boy, you can go down some
yeah.
rabbit holes.
well, we found that I don't remember which horse it was. I know wasn't Secretariat, but there was my family were horse traders in Scotland and Ireland, and they would bring horses to the United States and sell them at the Beaumont Farms. And so one of those horses bred one of the earlier champions of the Kentucky Derby and all that, the Triple Crown. So, it's like, well, that shows my. I guess that explains my fascination with horses. It's literally in my blood. It's pretty neat what you learn though when you do all that. It explains a lot about who you are based on the history of your family. So,
well, we're all only 150 years away from horsepower, horse-drawn.
yeah. Isn't that weird how that just evolved from horse-drawn buggies to cars that can park themselves?
Yeah.
We couldn't even hardly what we wrote on slate and with a piece of chalk. Now we got computers that plan our day for us. It's just wild how all that technology comes about on such a short time if you think about it.
Feels like the pace of technology has accelerated. Like for hundreds of years, it was a slow pace, and it just seems like now things change so quickly.
Yeah, I looked at some of the ledgers from my grandpa. He never owned a car. And he'd have written down, I sold 13 bags of oats to Farmer Joe down the road, and all the stuff he had written in there.
Fishing and picking. Do you see that?
No.
You're dating your cousin. That would be very easy to do if I had grown up where my mom grew up, because between all the family that's buried down that cemetery where mom grew up, God, I'm related to half that town.
That's weird. Years and years ago, we had a family reunion. My mother organized it. Cousins and stuff on her side of the family. Just, and so many people came. And there were so many people there. There was quite a few people, I would say, that were there that I knew and had no idea they were related to me. You're like, oh, wait a minute. What are you doing here?
Yeah. I went to my cousin's funeral a couple of months ago, and I just looked at all of my cousins there, and I was like, oh, my God. Every once in a while you go to a funeral, and there's very few people there, and you're like, we filled the church just with family.
Yeah.
For my cousin. I was like, golly. Everybody just grew up and stayed in the same place back
then.
Yeah. My parents and my grandparents, they were all right from pretty much the same town. Yeah.
Sorry. Had
It's
to go
interesting,
potty.
Joanna, but Ancestry, I don't know. I'm probably the most boring person alive. We just, wherever we thought we had arrived in the U.S. from, yep, that's where we were from. It was boring.
I have an ancestry, and I did start looking in because I knew nothing about my father's side of the family at all. And yeah, so it's been interesting. But I reached like an impasse where I have my third great grandfather, and I can't figure out where he came from, like who his parents were. And I keep looking down the same, which is odd because he was fairly prominent. It's weird because where I live right now, this apartment complex is on land that he owned, my third great grandfather. He ran a ferry system on the Delaware River between here, northeast Philadelphia area, down to Center City in the 1800s. And he owned hotels and properties and inns and stuff up here. So you would think someone that was that prominent, there would be some kind of record or history of his parents. So there's a family in Burlington, New Jersey, that had a son, John Risden is his name, that was born in the same year that he was. But I feel like that's probably the connection, but I can't find anything to substantiate it. And I'm just not good enough at it. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are genealogists who could, figure it out, but I haven't been able to figure it out. But on my mother's side, there's just so much. There's just so. But you sit there, it's overwhelming when you sit down and you go in and you've got this family tree that's got all these different branches and
yeah.
Not crazy.
Well, also, like, I think it's Ancestry that they have these little leaves, right? That will come up.
Little hint.
If you put, yes.
Mhm.
And I found a lot just from those.
Well, you get the leaves, and a lot of what's in the leaf is other people's trees. Well, when I first started doing it, it would say, this tree, pick up this. It would show you somebody else's tree or somebody else's hints, like somebody else, the research they did. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll add this to me. And then I discover that you really don't want to do that because there's no proof of any of that. That it's interesting to see what other people have attached to their trees, but it's not necessarily true. So I deleted my whole tree, and then I started over again, only adding to, like, looking at all the stuff and only adding to my tree the things that I've found records for, birth certificates and that kind of thing. So I would love to spend more time just sitting down doing it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be time enough for anything anymore. And Joanna says, we've been with my grandpa to visit a great fourth great grandpa who fought in the war. On my mother's side, I've got somebody who was actually in George Washington's army, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're related to Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett.
Oh, awesome.
I'm related to Edgar Allan Poe, which explains my brother.
Yeah. Lori, you should do a channel just for family history. That would be fascinating.
Lori. Oh, that's funny.
Well, he's a little weird, so.
It sounds like you've got a lot of weird in family.
Yeah. He's a weird one. Love him to death, but he's a weird one.
Yeah, well, Poe was weird. So yeah, you may
Lacey
be
has a
right.
bit of that. Lacey has a bit of that darkness in her too when it comes to her writing. She has that same quality, and she writes really really good. So I can see the similarities, and she's a big fan of his too. So which makes sense. It's like he's
Yeah.
like your something cousin. I don't know.
Poe is my wife's favorite writer. So she's got the bobblehead and the pop and all that stuff. Poe. She got
I used to have.
Poe on her laptop computer, you know, one of those sticker things.
Mhm.
There's an Edgar Allan Poe house here in Philadelphia, but I've never been to it. Tom would say I should be ashamed of myself.
Yeah, when we were up in the Northeast this summer, we went and looked at his grave. I don't know why. Expect a raven to come out and attack us or something.
Never or hear was it the telltale heart? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Your wife must feel a connection to him. She wants to go visit his grave. I've always wanted to go to Prince Edward Island, Canada, to see where one of my favorite children's authors grew up. Someday I'll do that. Anna Green Gables author. And I would go visit her grave. Morning, Mary. Grandma Magic Classics. What's everybody up to?
Sending Teresa next door to pull all the items and cartons and bubble wrap and all that good stuff.
I think I'm going to take 2 or 3 hours to go preview an auction. There's
fun.
There's an auction of closed down bicycle shop.
Some new old stuff.
They don't have many bicycles or parts or anything, but there's all of their equipment, you know, to repair bicycles and display bicycles and and then yeah.
That sounds fun.
I'll go look and see if there's anything small enough. They got great big old bicycle racks, you know, that would, you know, you go into Walmart and you look at the bicycle racks, one's like those, just monster big racks, you know, you're like, God. Those had to have cost a lot of money new, but how would you buy and sell those? I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
I'm sure there'll be bicycle enthusiasts there too. That's all we see around here. We got all these bicycle trails everywhere, and people still ride on the road. Drives me crazy. It's like this isn't Tour de France. Get on the bike trail. Get out of the road.
Yeah. Well, our town is so small and our streets are so big that you can have bicycles and cars and trucks and everything else.
Well, in town it's not so bad because they have the bicycle lanes, but out in the country when it's hilly and, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just crazy out there, and they won't get out of the way. You know, you have to wait for them, especially if you're going uphill, because you can't go around them on a hill because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to be coming over the hill. So it's like, but in this, where I live, everything that's on the road has to go at least 35 miles per hour, be licensed, and have headlights and taillights, even a golf cart.
Oh, wow.
but yet bicycles are allowed on the road. I don't understand that. Why everything else has to be registered with the DMV, but a bicycle. It's like, okay. But, not that I have anything against bicyclers. I just think that all the money that's been spent on all these trails, and we've got a bicycle trail that goes from Dayton. Well, actually, I think it might be at Columbus now, down all the way down to Cincinnati, down to the river. It's one big giant bike trail. Now that there's plenty of hills and stuff like that they could be riding on. I know they're practicing for some kind of bike race or whatever, but it's crazy.
No, I hope that visit goes good, Mary. That's kind of hard to deal with. The victim liberal views, people thinking that they're owed or whatever.
It's hard when your political views. It used to be you could discuss that kind of thing. I feel like you can't even discuss it anymore.
Yeah.
There's too much anger and stuff in politics.
You should just say, okay, I'm gonna stop you now. Don't talk about this,
Yeah.
I don't even get into it. I just
no.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's like it is what it is. Things are gonna we really have no control over it. What's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. So just have to sit back and deal with our own lives.
You already know that you don't share the same, know.
It's like why bring it up?
Yeah. Yeah, when you don't share the same opinion on stuff like that, you just have to kind of
agree to disagree.
Say we're not going to even talk about that.
Yeah.
And I love you, and I don't want you to have to go right now. I want to be able to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Job had a really good visit.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I got to see.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they stayed for 2 days, and of course we got like a foot of snow.
Yeah.
And I was, really afraid for them to go back home on Sunday, but I guess she has a lot of experience driving in the snow and stuff like that. So
maybe they did okay.
Yeah, they did really good with time and everything. So I'm like, you guys don't have to go home today, do you? And they're like, yeah. We have to work tomorrow.
It's so nice when you get to spend that block of time with them,
And it's not even, I mean, yes, I do like to sit and have conversations with them. Because I miss that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's almost just him being here.
Yeah.
Even if he's in the room with Jonah and they're playing video games, that's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
I like knowing that he's here, and that's like almost enough for me, So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good to have him here.
Yeah, Mary. Sometimes some people just like that. They just thrive on that conflict and anger, and it's a shame. It's not my thing.
Yeah, and sometimes, if they're gonna be like that, and you can't get them to not be like that around you, and you're always having arguments because of it or whatever, sometimes you just have to say, I just can't be around that person.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, because I mean, we may love that person, but sometimes people just can't get along with other people. So, and they won't put that aside.
Yeah.
And some people just like to it up. So
Right.
you know what they say: those who
Mhm.
do should be made to lick the spoon.
It just feels like there's no
Mm.
middle ground anymore. People don't want to hear another side, and
Mhm.
they don't want to. It's like Michael drives me crazy when he watches the news and he yells and carries on, which drives me crazy in the first place. But if somebody comes on that is from the opposite side of he just mutes them.
Mhm.
That drives me so crazy. Like, how can you ever, if you're not even willing to listen to what somebody else says, if you're not even willing to just sit and listen to what they say, how can anything ever change? And that just drives me crazy that he won't even listen to somebody else's opinion. And he and I, for the most part, are on the same of the same stream of thought. It's not like he and I are opposed, but that he won't
Right.
listen to what anybody else has to say. It's just
Right.
it drives me crazy.
And
Yeah.
the media doesn't help because they're always this side, this group saying this group says this channel saying this one, and they're all different. It's like it's all edited different to say different things. Same story, you got the whole thing, but then it's all edited to be different from each station. So I don't even bother with any of that. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't hear it with your own ears or see it with your own eyes,
Right.
it don't matter to me.
You can't even believe what you see on the news. You can't even believe what you see on the news or hear on the news. It's crazy. And then these politicians that come out and rant and rave about one thing, and then you find that 2 years ago when the shoe was on the other foot, they were saying the exact opposite. The hypocrisy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And that's how it's been. It's like
Yeah.
they forget that this was said by this person
Yeah.
2 years ago, and now they're backpedaling on this one. They're on this They were on this bandwagon those 2 years ago. Now they're on this bandwagon.
Mhm.
I
So it's
try
like,
to say to myself, if the person I didn't like in office were to do this, how would I feel about it? Like if I'm feeling this way about this person who I like and who I agree with, but what if this other guy, what if this other president that I didn't like did it? How would I feel? Like I try to
weigh out the differences.
right. I
Yeah.
try to take into consideration my own bias, like and if you can't do that, then you can't think things through reasonably. But yeah, the lies and the media is all biased
Mhm.
than others, so you can't know if you're getting the truth from one side or the other. Right. Yeah, Mary. No one can have a different. No one is tolerant of anybody else having a different view.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I don't see how you could ever come together.
They
But
never will.
Joe Biden was
It'll-
saying he wouldn't be averse to picking a Republican if he were a Republican running mate.
Mhm.
And I'm sure he won't do it, but I thought that would be awesome, wouldn't it? If a nominee would pick a running mate of the opposite. I mean, I'd be willing to vote for anybody who I really thought would reach across the aisle and stop
Yeah.
trashing the other side and would really, yeah.
But the thing is it's all about favors.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's what sucks. And I wish that it wasn't like that. I wish it was about the people actually voting for somebody that says that they're going to do what they say they're going to do.
Mhm.
I wish that was all that it was. But it's not. And they're all crooks in my book.
Oh yeah, me
They're
too.
all,
Me too.
and they're all playing a game,
Well, that's like
playing a game to see.
was it Truman said you can't become rich by being a politician, but yet these politicians in office now make millions. How is
Yeah.
that possible?
Yeah.
On a
don't
certain
understand
amount
it.
on a small salary.
What they
So,
should
I mean, it's
do, and this is how I felt for a long time, what they should do is they should get a baseline wage, say $15 an hour.
yeah,
And then,
they should.
and then, you know what? They would get people in there that actually want to do the job,
Yeah,
that actually, they want to be in politics, that they want to be, in the Senate, and they want to, they want to, um, work. They want to work for the people,
that's the way it used to
because
be a
right
long
now,
time ago.
those people are not working for the people.
Nope, they're working
They're
for their
all
line
about
their
it for
pocket.
them. Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have summer homes and vacation homes all across the nation.
No.
It used to be that way. I think they should have a 4-year term, just like the president. Each one should have a 4-year term, not make a career out of it. They should have to be voted in every 4 years, or only be able to run 4 years, and maybe have a span, and then maybe, run another time. But they shouldn't be able to keep voted in or stay in office the whole time. I think everybody
Right.
should be voted in, just like the state, our governors, and all that. So,
Yeah.
but because it's supposed to be by the people for the people. We have no say in those that's been in there for 30, 40 years. There's no reason for them to have been there that long.
They say that we do, because they say, oh, you can contact your senator, or contact your governor. They don't do shit.
They don't listen. It stops at whoever answers the phone, and that's as far as it gets. And a lot of times it's automated. So
yeah.
Mary would vote for Candace Owens. She's way too pretty to be a politician.
She is.
You can't be a beautiful person and be a politician. That's just not happening. I'm just saying.
That kind of sounds a little sexist, Todd.
No, I mean, can you imagine Tom Cruise being president?
Robert!
Or what's his name? Any of the heartthrobs out of Hollywood, whether a guy or a girl or whatever, they'd just be too good looking.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, if Matthew was president, would all be driving
Lincolns.
Lincolns.
Ice
Oh, yeah, it's just crazy. Like yesterday, there was some big rally in Virginia.
The gun law, yeah.
And you would have thought it was going to be the worst disaster in the history of the media hysteria before the event.
Yeah, there are going to be lots of shootings and people and cats living with dogs, and none of that happened.
And there was
none of that happened. No,
it was all a very
I saw a reporter on Twitter who posted a picture of them walking. It must have been cold. Well, obviously, it was cold there, and saying, "Look at something about these thugs, and why are they all covering up their faces?" Hello, it was 20 degrees out. They had scarves, and some people were wearing scarves and things covering up the bottom part of their face.
Yeah,
see,
they're never going to get our guns. That's just ain't going to happen. I don't think.
No, but the media. Wanted to create a scenario there that just
they blow it out of proportion. I mean, they say history repeats itself. Let's hope it doesn't, because look what happened when Hitler took all the guns away.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen, because then we're at the mercy of the government.
Joanna says Illinois is
not getting mine without a fight.
only one person was arrested. Yeah, it was a Democrat. Yeah. Yeah, they cleaned up after the rally. People never talk about in Washington every year in January, there is a Right to Life march. People don't,
Mm-hmm.
they don't, they always promote the Women's March and all that goes on, but every year there's a Right to Life march. And sometimes it's pretty big. There's never any, they clean up, there's never any trash left on the streets. There's never any, but you don't hear about those kinds of, those
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah.
Hmm.
Karen says, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger would have made a great president. It's a shame he's not the governor of California anymore. Arnold. And Joanna says, Illinois is run by Mike Madigan, who's Speaker of the House. He's been there 35 plus years. He calls the bill, right. If he don't like the bill, he will never call for a vote. That's a dictatorship. That's
Mm-hmm.
not,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it happens in state houses all over the country.
Schwarzenegger couldn't be a president anyways
No,
because
he was Austria born.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Natural
I think it was Austria.
Yeah.
He's born
Yep.
here. But he would have been a good president.
Hi, Kathy.
I can't.
Brad Pitt.
Lord, how did we get on this topic?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's all your fault, Maggie.
It is. I'm sorry. Troublemaker.
So how about the reselling?
Oh.
Did you see that Build-A-Bear's coming out with the Baby Yoda?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
So that's weird, right? Is Build-A-Bear a Disney company? Like,
I don't know,
why would Disney?
but they're
You can't buy a Baby Yoda, right? There are no Baby Yoda toys.
there's the Funko Pop has released the baby. Well, it's called the Child because it's not Yoda. It's just his species. But since he's such a little one, everybody just says he looks like a Baby Yoda. So that kind of stuck. But he's considered the Child.
He's so cute.
Yeah, they've released the Funko Pop of him.
Hmm.
So I thought, man, I'd like to get a case of those and hold on to them for about a year.
Yeah.
Or two.
It just feels crazy to me that Disney is not merchandising. You know what I mean?
Doesn't Disney
Yeah.
have those Build-A-Bear places in Disney?
I don't know if I've ever seen.
They might be affiliated. I don't know. Let's look it up.
I think so.
Oh, Lord, Mary. Mary says, my sales have gotten better in the last few weeks, but I'm back to listing 200 a week. Oh, my God.
Ooh, good job.
I guess it would have to be because I have Build-A-Bear Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale.
I have a.
The dancers or the chipmunks?
That's what I was thinking.
The
The
Rescue
chipmunk.
Rangers.
I didn't know you were into that, Lori.
Not the bow tie kind, the acorn kind.
Oh,
Yeah, there must be
There's
some
a-
kind of partnership.
Yeah, they're affiliated. Yeah,
but they have
because let's see,
yeah,
Disney stuffed animals collection.
yeah.
Build-A-Bear. It says Build-A-Bear will debut a Baby Yoda stuffed animal. It says high-profile partnerships with companies like Disney and Lucasfilms are crucial to Build-A-Bear's business. So there you go.
Texas Val. Chip
So
and
they
Dale.
must have gotten the rights to do it.
Texas Val. You made
And
Todd
my
choke on
chat's
his
slow.
spit.
My chat's slow. I haven't seen it yet.
Kathy
Yeah,
says,
I
I've been
haven't seen it
listening
yet.
like crazy trying to protect my business from death. It's a shame because the timing was just so bad, Kathy, with your surgery and all, the fourth quarter. I've been doing different things. I've been doing daily repricing on Amazon, and that has just really, really upped my FBA game, because the things you just can't leave things sit on Amazon. You just can't. And then I've been doing regular repricing on eBay, which I have never done in the past. So I'm just looking at stuff that's ending. On your dashboard, it'll say ending soon. And I've just been going in every day and taking a look at that stuff and repricing it. I haven't gone so far as to end and relist anything or end and sell similar, but just doing that and doing the offers to buyers. And then I saw something about that. There was a podcast recently on eBay for Business where they said something about, I thought they said something about the offers. No, I can't see it. I thought I wrote it down and I can't see it. I got too many stupid little piece of paper. I hear stuff and then I write it down, and then I've got these little things sticking all over my stuff.
I think that too. It's like, where did I put that?
We'll give you data.
Oh, it's good to hear about everybody else's problems besides mine. It just makes me feel better about my mess over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Misery loves company, and yeah, y'all are good company.
I found it.
Yeah, y'all are almost as messed up as I am, and it's wonderful.
Not great. If a buyer clicks on an item in the future, right now, you could, if somebody watches an item, right, you can send an offer to watchers. In the future, if a buyer clicks on an item 3 times but does not watch it, it will still show up in your offer list. So you still will be able to send that buyer an offer. So if somebody clicks on the same item 3 times, keeps going in, but doesn't watch it, it will still trigger you being able to send them an offer on that item.
It's like Beetlejuice, bam, you can offer.
Yeah. Times and turn around. Yeah. So that was interesting. The eBay managed payment will allow you to collect 10 years of payment data instead of just what do you get
eBay, what was that? eBay managed payment?
Will allow you to save up to 10 years of payment data. Like right now, you can only go back a year on PayPal, right?
Yeah.
You'll be able to get much more data back 10 years.
Yesterday, I was researching a set of earrings, and I found a pair on eBay. I was just looking, how you do your comps and your solds, and I, opened it to look at it to see if it's the same pair. And I was like, well, yeah, that's cool. It is. And I'd look to see what they sold for. And then about an hour later, I got sent an offer from a seller. I'm like, I didn't click to watch that or nothing. It's not in my watch list. I'm like, how did they send me an offer to buy them? Well, all I did was click on it to look at it.
So,
oh wow,
no, that's weird. But it's not showing up in my messages or nothing.
No.
It was strange.
Sellers were getting a lot of.
Has it come up in my messages?
Ah, that's interesting.
But yet, when I go back to look at it to see if it's still in my messages, it's gone.
Jason,
it's weird.
Tons of offers for memorabilia now. Oh. Anybody have put best offer on an item, had forgotten to put an item. I guess I'd forgotten to put best offer on an item and got a message from eBay saying item can now accept best offer. Yeah, they want you to use those best offers. Mr. Sadie.
Let's show you how slow my chat is. I'm just now seeing Texas Vale's Chippendales comment about the
Oh,
acorns.
Lord.
Yep.
Hellfire, Mr. Sadie.
Hellfire.
How are you, Mr. Sadie? We're actually talking about reselling for the last 5 minutes of the show. All the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we already covered politics and squirrel nuts. So.
Not necessarily that order, but
It did say on that payment, all the fees and costs will be removed before you pay out, which I like that idea. That's what I love about Amazon. What I get is what I'm getting. All the fees are taken out before they pay you out.
Yeah.
And they also said that you should start paying more attention to what's in your title, because eBay will start pulling from your title to fill in the item specific for you, to auto fill the item specific. I forgot all that was interesting in that podcast. I could throw these papers away now. Oh,
yeah, and also
it didn't ask if. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Kathy was saying it didn't ask if she wanted to use it. They just put it on.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And it said if I didn't want it, he had to go in and change it. Wow, I don't like that.
Hank says mine's been doing that about pulling info from the autofill item specifics.
Doing it very poorly.
Also, you will be able to send offers if they have it in their cart.
Oh, okay. That's what you were telling us about last week, right? About how you go in and you look on, yeah. Oh, like it takes women's jeans 905 and shoves it into the side. No.
Do you get a notification if somebody puts something in your cart? Because wouldn't that be different than the buy it now? Doesn't it have the add to cart and then buy it now? If I'm not mistaken.
If they have it to where they add it to the cart, then you can send them an offer.
But do you get, and so you do get notification when somebody adds something from your store to their cart?
I don't. Mm-mm.
So how do you know?
It just shows up if you go into your offers to.
Yeah, if you go into your active
where you can
listings,
send offers.
Not in the normal part. It's under active list. All, what is it?
Oh yeah, you went in a different way. Mr. Sadie says
active.
Didn't you go in under like my eBay or something?
View my eBay selling under selling tools. And then you go into active and then sort it by watchers.
So I do that on my iPad. It shows up like blue. It'll show like a blue block, and it'll say send offer to potential buyer or whatever. But then when you
Yes.
scroll through, once you get past all the watchers, when it gets down to ones that don't have watchers, there are still
You'll still
options where
find
you can
them.
send offers. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's no watchers, so I wonder if that's the ones where they're in the cart,
That's
possibly.
what I'm thinking.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's yeah.
Because they haven't actually watched it nor purchased it. It's just sitting in their cart. So, because I found like 2 or 3 like that a couple of days ago. I'm thinking, well, these don't even have watchers on it. Because I would stop when I got to the 0 watchers, and I thought, I'm just going to just look through here because I was bored. And I was like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. So,
yeah.
So I'm just wondering if that's what that is, where they're in the cart.
Yeah, I think so.
Good to know. Good to know. Don't stop at 0. Keep going.
That's right.
Mr. Sadie says, isn't this the day Todd gives away a free gold watch at the end of the show? Hank said no, he did that at the beginning of the show, Mr. Sadie.
Yeah.
He can have it.
Free gold.
Yeah, you missed it.
Jason's going to rent a truck today to pick up his biggest haul ever. What kind of stuff, Jason?
Ooh, what do you have?
Lisa, a couple of pickers, was saying that she got an offer to buy out somebody's 180 some boxes of books, and she could get them for free if she took all
That's a lot.
Yeah, but they were books, so it's books he already had listed. So I think she said she did a spot check on. He sent her like a manifest, like a list of all the titles, and she checked some of them, and the few she checked didn't really have any value. So. Still, that's a lot of books.
And you know what? When I was selling on Amazon, Merchant Fulfilled, I almost like get myself consumed with, adding prices, like as far as what everybody else has had priced stuff.
Right.
Like, a book or whatever. They were saying it was only worth $3.99, or other people had it listed for $3.99, and I'm like, screw that. I'm not doing this for like $3.99. I want to get a little bit more out of the book. So if I'm going to do it, it's going to have to sell for what I want to sell it for. So I would list it for like $9.99 or $12.99, and I'd still sell stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can still price higher on Amazon. On Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Today Tuesday. Holy cow! I thought today was Monday.
Today's Tuesday.
Tomorrow I'm gonna, Adam Exploits is having a show at, I think, 3:00, and I'm going to go on and talk about Amazon and how, you can sell stuff higher on Amazon. You don't have to join that race to the bottom, but you have to keep after it. You have to keep keeping your pricing. You have to just keep in there. Oh, Jason says a man's son is selling his deceased father's lifelong NASCAR collection.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
That should be some good stuff. Are you going to do a video on it, Jason? Why am I not subscribed to you?
You should see all the McDonald's stuff I got from that lady that gave me the crystal car. All these advertisement stuff, the NASCAR racing from '94 with Bill Elliott and all that, all those little tons of those. They're still in the pack. The NASCAR, like the racing champions, got a bunch of those cups, toys, the menu, the square like plastic pieces that went in the signs, and it has all the Disney characters on it, and that stuff. I was surprised to see that stuff sells. I mean, I'm thinking, who would want that? I started doing the comps there, and I'm thinking, wow, a lot of people collect McDonald's stuff.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Where you had the other day, you were trying to tell me what you had, and you said something about Michael Jordan, like stopwatch. Did you have any of those? Yeah.
No, I got no. Not the
I thought
stopwatch.
you were talking about Michael Jordan or something.
It's no, it was a badge, and I thought it was Michael Jordan, but it's Grant Hill. It's an employee badge, and he's like
Oh,
doing
okay.
a shot. It's for I don't know if it was a Big Mac or whatever, but I can't remember what it was. And then I have when the McLean or the deluxe come in or whatever, McDeluxe or whatever it was, the adult hamburger, what they called it. I have big. It's probably about 5 foot tall by about 18 inches wide. It's Ronald McDonald's wearing a suit.
Huh.
I have that and all those sign inserts, banners. I've got banners, the Disney toys. They're 8 foot long. You know, the canvas banners. And I'm thinking, well, who would want that? So yeah, that stuff actually sells. You know, it amazes me. And I have like a stack of the sign pieces of all different various ones. And back when they were, I guess, reintroducing the Big Mac, back when it was like a groovy, it had the '70s theme, and it has all that artwork from the '70s type look to it, and it's very colorful, and that stuff. It's these discs and have let's say like special sauce, and the next one will say lettuce, and the next one will say cheese. Like you can put them together on a wall or something, is the way they had it in the store.
Huh.
And then I've got the full store display, never used, of the Beanie Babies from the '90s, and 2 packages that are of the teeny Beanie Babies still in the packages that were sent to the stores itself. And it's just like, and then I've got all the employee badges and pins and whatnot. So it's the only thing I didn't get that I wanted that she had was a Ronald McDonald. It was a what they call balloon topper. I don't know why they call it that, but it's a blow mold of his head. It's about 18 to 24 inches tall, and they sell anywhere between $300 to $500. So she had that, and she had 2. She had the original. They called him Speedy. He was the original hamburger, from the '50s. The original logo. She had a puppet of him and had a Ronald McDonald puppet. She said I couldn't have those. So I imagine somewhere down the line I'm going to end up with them, just like I did the crystal car, but I couldn't have them right now.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Carol.
But I have a lot to keep me busy. Once I get the jewelry done, we're going to start bringing over boxes of the small stuff I got from there, because a lot of it's the Happy Meal toys that's still in the package. You know, tons of them, and full sets. You know, you got Hercules,
Wow.
you got Hunchback of Notre Dame, all the stuff. Most of it's from the '90s, and some of it's from earlier than that. But I've got the old wax cups. I don't know if you remember the old wax cups, wax paper cups.
Mm-hmm.
All the plastic cups from all the movies franchises that they did at the time. You know, Armageddon, Hercules, all the Disney movies, and that stuff. I couldn't believe it how that sells. I was like, God. So it's going to take me forever to get through it, but we'll get it up and sold. So I'll probably
Folks, I got to get crack-a-lacking.
All righty.
I'm
out of here for today.
Yeah, it's 11.
Yeah, I got to go put some socks on. My feet are cold. I got my slippers on, but that just ain't good.
Hope things work out with
Everybody have
Valerie.
a good.
She's had a hard 4 days.
I know it.
She gets some rest.
Yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be on Valerie's channel or on this channel, but keep your eyes at the squad, and we'll let you know what's going on. So
all right,
we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Either way, thanks for watching.